All right, everybody, what is going on? And welcome to Fourth Line Minutes, our sixth shift for you today, and kind of a packed show for everybody. We're going to be diving into Pixar Disney's Soul, which came out a couple weeks ago now, and we kind of had time for it to marinate, and we're going to talk about that. I had mentioned on my Locked On Avalanche show to Kyle that in a former life, I went to E3 a handful of times. And he was like, "Oh, well, you have to tell me more stories about E3." So we're going to dive into my fun times at E3. And what else are we going to do? We're going to talk about, just because, the world is like crazy right now. So what do Kyle and I do? Kind of like to go back into our shell, kind of just tune the world out. What do we tune into in terms of video games, television, movies, books, whatever? When we kind of need to like have a reset button. And because the NHL season is just around the corner, we are going to give our predictions, our actual predictions. And then, of course, we have to get the simulator prediction. And I feel like this is a meaningful one today because this is the first one. Like, if you were to do a simulation, and we do them every week, but if you were to do a simulation, you would do it like now to get your championship team. So this is an important one for our Avalanche. If they can get this one, I think this one means a lot.
And so they just released an update, so this is about
yeah, really? All right,
had a roster update.
So to break it all down with me, you just heard on Mr. Kyle Sullivan, Shaggy Von Doom himself. What's going on, sir? How are you?
How's it going? We're getting snow in North Alabama tomorrow.
No way, really?
That's right. Milk and bread. Probably like 2 to 3 inches, but it's enough to shut us down.
And is the world coming to an end?
Everybody, well, there's already school cancellations, and it's the talk of the town around here.
We had I'm in upstate New York. I'm near Albany, New York. About a month ago, I think we got 30 inches in one storm. And we closed down for a day. We were back at it the next day. Yeah.
We do not handle the snow and ice well here in Alabama.
I lived in with my buddy Mark. You know Mark, I do my other shows with. He lives in North Carolina and Charlotte, and I moved down there for a little while when he moved down there, and there was the threat of snow. They didn't know if it was going to happen or not. And it was just on the news, like maybe like 3 or 4 days from now, there might be snow. And it's probably similar to what you're going through right now down there. Everybody is panicking.
And for some reason, I don't know what it is. Like if you guys are listening and understand the theory behind this, please let me know. Everybody robs milk and bread out of the store. I don't understand milk and bread. Like I heard you put your milk in the snow if the power goes out, but what do you do with the bread? Do you warm it together and make a fire? Like, what do you do? I don't understand.
I don't know. It's almost like, coronavirus came and everybody was getting toilet paper. Why?
Nobody died on the crapper. No right. Elvis fatalities because of COVID.
Right. I don't know. One of life's great mysteries. So, but so perfect. I mean, if people are watching this and we're listening to this and you're in Alabama and you're getting snow and you need time to watch something, I think this might be a good show to listen to because we're going to talk about Soul right now. And later on, we're going to talk about kind of things that we get into when the world has gone to, what, like it is right now. But Soul on Disney Plus was kind of one of those movies that was supposed to obviously come out in movie theaters, but because of coronavirus, it did not, and hit Disney Plus on Christmas Day.
Yep.
And I'm a huge Pixar guy, man. Like I just feel like everything they do like is just the touch of gold, because they perfect making it fun for kids and making it entertaining and meaningful to adults.
Yeah.
Which is not easy to do. Do you feel like with this movie, they've kind of like taken it to the next level? Because this is maybe, I've always thought Inside Out is their deepest movie. But this one could surpass it. I'm not saying I like it more than Inside Out, but this is there's some deep rooted stuff here, and you wanted to talk about this a couple weeks ago, and I had just watched it once, and I'm like, I'm not ready to talk about that because I really have to like kind of dig deeper into it. And I've seen it a handful of times since then, mainly because I have a 4-year-old daughter who wants to watch it every 5 seconds. And like with most Pixar movies, like they grow on you the more and more you watch them.
Yeah.
This one, I don't want to say it's not, but it's not as much as some other Pixar movies for me. I don't know. Maybe this one's just going to take a little bit longer. But what's your overall impressions of it when you how many times have you seen it, first of all?
I've probably seen it 2.5 times now.
Okay. So what's your overall take on it?
Yeah, this is definitely Pixar upping their game a little bit. Like you were saying, you're a fan of Pixar. It's hard to find somebody who's not because of the quality of their work. Like every movie they've done, like it's from Toy Story to Bug's Life to Finding Nemo, all of them have a very strong, relatable message. And everybody's calling this Pixar's step up to more of a deeper adult topic. But see, Onward was that for me.
Okay.
Because I lost my father, and and I have brothers, so that relationship and that by the end of it, I was sobbing. That movie was just so good. Soul is on a different level. It's a lot of the principles and the way they draw comparisons to things and how they have a visual example for everything is something you think about now in your daily life. It's one of those movies that, like the Truman Show was like that for me growing up.
Yeah.
You all like watch the movie and it's got that its story, but then you pick up aspects of that movie and you think about it in your daily life.
Right.
That's how Soul is. Like you think about your purpose and like your soul, and like when you go to that other place when you're doing something you love and trying not to get too consumed by it, where you get lost. It's just you think about it a lot in your daily life.
Yeah, it's like, you know, in the beginning, like he gets his shot to play, you know, at a jazz lounge with what I'm assuming is I don't know if that's a real or a made up character.
I'm not sure.
The woman. Yeah, I mean, I like jazz music, but I don't know the ins and outs of who the artists are and stuff like that. But he gets an opportunity to play with her, and then he's so excited about it, you know, like he, you know, steps into a manhole and dies. So like, you know, and when the movie is over, it wasn't until the very, very end where I'm like, oh, okay. Because normally in Pixar movies, you can like kind of pick up where they're going with it a little bit earlier. But for me, I don't know, maybe I just, when I was watching it and they kind of like allowed him back, if you know what I mean. And he's like, I don't know what I'm going to do. And I'm like, oh my, okay. So because in the beginning, his sole purpose was to be a successful jazz musician. It was not to teach middle school kids.
Yeah.
That wasn't his purpose. And it kind of just goes to, you know, I like the message of that, of who knows where life is going to bring you.
Yeah.
Roll with the punches.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Have a goal and a destination, but don't make your life solely focused on that, because that's just a singular lifestyle and that's going to get boring after a little while. And chances are you might not get that. And your life is not a failure if you don't get that.
And see, and it goes back to like that moment is where it really dawned on me earlier in the movie when he finally got that gig, and when he walked out and he's like, is this it? I was expecting it to feel
yes.
And she's like, yeah, we'll be back tomorrow night. And then he gets what he's always wanted. He gets that moment on the stage, and he doesn't get that feeling, but he gets that feeling again when he's actually letting the jazz like come through him, when he's looking at all those items on the top of the piano. That's where he like recaptures exactly what he was loving. It wasn't getting on the stage, it was the jazz is what he loved, and all the aspects and avenues that it opened up, like at the school with that one student that was on the fence about quitting music altogether. Being on the stage and just like musically telling your story. Like he was telling the story of him in 22, just in music and looking at those items and how the mood made him feel, how it made the music sound. That's how it. That's where it clicked for me because I play guitar, so I was like, ooh, I like that right there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good point. It's like we build up in our minds, like, if I just have this, if I just get this, then I will feel satisfied. I'll feel successful. And then when you get that, if you're lucky enough to attain that, it's not as incredible as you thought it was. Maybe it is for a short period of time.
And
But
like a lot of people were complaining about like 22, like why was this enough for her to find her soul or her purpose? It was because everybody was telling about the end result, and what clicked for her was the journey.
yeah.
And that's what it was. That's what the actual part of life is what clicked with her. Everybody was talking about their accolades, and she didn't care about that.
Yep.
It was the process of life, like eating a pizza off the street and getting a haircut. Like the little things in life is what made her
Our excitement.
realize life, that there is more to life.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, that's exactly what I tell clients of mine in my day job. I do, I'm in the substance abuse world, and I, counsel people who are addicted to drugs and alcohol. And obviously goal setting is a big thing in that profession. And I tell them, like, yeah, goals are good to have, but if you don't have a journey to get to that goal, it's meaningless. You can have it on the wall, it'll stay there on the wall all day long. And unless you put into action a plan and a journey to get to that goal, it's meaningless.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what this was saying. I like it a lot.
I mean, we can even like draw the parallel because I mean, we talk hockey here. Like, if you look at any former hockey player that had success in the league, they always talk about, if I had one more chance to play. It's not one more chance to like win a game, or if I could just beat the Red Wings one more time, or no, it's just I want to get back out there and play with the guys because they missed the journey. Yeah, they got there, they got to have their cards printed up, they got to have their jersey, but they missed the journey together with the team.
Yeah.
And that's the little parallel with the hockey world, but like it's the journey. It's what I gathered from Soul. It's the journey and not losing sight of it.
Yeah. Notice the last few Pixar movies are all kind of centered around death.
Yeah, what's going on?
like Coco, obviously.
Yeah. Oh,
all in the afterworld.
So good.
Fantastic movie. Onward.
Yes.
Technically, it's about death. And then you got this. So
I've been asking for a Bug's Life 2 for a long time. If this is where we're going to be with Pixar, leave Bug's Life 2 alone. Don't kill anybody in that universe.
Is that what's your favorite? What's your favorite Pixar movie? If you had to pick one. It's so tough too, by the way.
It is. Like, I'm an OG Toy Story stan.
Okay.
Like, hardcore. Like, I have Emperor Zurg over here in the Temple of Doom.
Yeah.
But like, an Onward came out, that one, because of like the D&D aspect, like the relationships, that one really stuck to me. That was tailor-made for me. But Coco's a beautiful movie, and I can watch that whenever. But
I know.
Yeah, it's got to be Onward now for me.
Right now, yeah. For me, man, and Toy Story 3 is phenomenal. Phenomenal. And Inside Out just it's so brilliantly written.
Yeah.
It's incredible. So and it revolves around hockey too. So
it does.
It does, yeah. So
Pixar,
maybe we should do
good.
Pixar is awesome. Pixar is amazing. I'm telling you, on Disney Plus, it doesn't even like I've seen Frozen and Frozen 2 more times than I can count because I have a 4-year-old daughter. Great movies, by the way.
Yeah.
Even if you've never seen them, watch. There's a series on there. It's 6 episodes long called Into the Unknown, which is a song from the second movie. It is the making of Frozen 2. It's incredible, the stuff that they do to get this movie done. They have an end date. Like, it's coming out in November. They have 9 months left and like so much to do. And they do rewrites and they have to do reshoots and I don't know. It's not reshoots. It's reanimating. It's getting the actors to come back in and do reads over again. Unbelievable stuff how they make animated movies. That's not Pixar. Frozen is Disney animated movies, but still, it's in the same realm. But watch it; it's incredible.
There's also one on Disney Plus that came out in the late '90s about the first Toy Story. I don't know if you've seen that, and
I
it's
don't think so.
absolutely crazy to see the technology they were working with for Toy Story 1.
Yeah.
Basically having to create, like, there was no Toy Story 1 was groundbreaking on so many levels. There was not other computer animated films at the time like that. And for them to basically have to make the technology for it to work and make the technology to animate and record and put it all together, and for it to be just a timeless classic. I can't remember what it's called, but it's on there. It's a documentary about Toy Story 1. It's very, very good.
All right. I know, like, the guys that started Pixar, which Pixar was around in like the 80s. They didn't start doing movies until Toy Story. And they sat down in like a coffee shop and they wrote out the ideas behind their first like 5 movies. It was all the way up to Wall-E. So they had like, it was Toy Story, Bugs Life. I miss there's a couple.
Monsters Inc.
Yeah, I think Monsters Inc. Maybe Finding Nemo. Was Nemo after? I don't know, but it was 5 movies. I think Monsters Inc. was in there, and then the last one of that one meeting in the coffee shop was Wall-E, and it wasn't just like hey, let's just make Toy Story and see what happens. They had it planned out, man, and Wall-E speaks today.
Yeah,
man,
absolutely. And that's one of the great things about Pixar. It's just like those moments of the movies that resonate with you, like in your daily life, and you start seeing things. You're like, oh, this is kind of like,
yeah.
And it's just
Pixar.
Dude, is really good at that.
I don't care who you are. The end of Toy Story 3 will crush you. It will crush your soul.
Hey. Yeah, I remember watching that Toy Story 3 when they're in the trash compactor, and literally, I'm a grown man at this point, and I'm sitting there in the theater. I like sit up in my chair, and I like look to my left and my right, and I'm like, they're not doing this. Are they?
Is this how it ends? This is how it's going to end.
Oh,
yeah, man. Awesome.
Great stuff.
Can't be Pixar. All right. So I'm sure we'll have much more Disney stuff to speak about as the weeks go on. But yeah, I had mentioned a story to you about my time in the video game world. And my podcasting career started with a friend of mine who I still do podcasts with. His name's Mark Turcotte. He hosts The Enthusiast Life, which I co-hosted with him for a while, but got out of it to do other things. But we still host a show together, Tardy TARDIS, Doctor Who podcast, fantastic show.
It's fantastic.
But he got a hold of me. We've been friends since kindergarten, and back in like 2008 or something like that, I talked to him every single day, and he sent me a text message, and he's like, dude, I listen to these things called podcasts because he's a runner. He's like, when I go for runs and stuff like that, he goes, I think we could absolutely do it. I'm like, all right, what do you want to do it on? He goes, well, we're both big gamers, and this is when I was into video games. He goes, I think we should do it on like video games, comic books, and movies and stuff like that. I'm like, yeah, let's do it. So we did it. We got our other friend Bill involved, who we also went to kindergarten with. And as the time went on, we were realizing like, yeah, this is fun, but like, we don't know how to reach an audience. We don't know how, and podcasting was in its infancy back then. So like, how do we do this? So what he started to do was shop it around he would just go to video game websites, and most of them didn't have a podcast. So he would send emails out to all these people, say, hey, like, love your website. I think he'd send the same email out and just change this. Yeah, exactly. And would just say like, we do a podcast. We would love to be the podcast for your website. And we got a bite on one. It was the website was called avault.com. Now, Avault, we struck gold with because they were run and owned by a guy named Angel Munoz, who started the very first video game like esports
Whoa.
tournament. Yeah. This dude is like a legend in the world of video gaming. He started Major League Gaming is what he started.
Whoa.
So he had Avol. Avol was the IGN of the video game world before IGN. And they never really went away, but they never really they didn't keep up with it, and they kind of just got lost in the mix of like the websites, video game websites and stuff like that. But they were always around, and we got a hold of him, and he reached out to it, and he was like, "I love the idea. This is a great idea. Let's do it." And because of him, like we started to do interviews every single week on the show. I've done interviews with John Romero,
Whoa,
who made Doom.
Yeah. One of my favorite games ever.
Yeah, he's in my phone right now. I
Oh
saved
my
his,
God.
I saved his phone number. I've never called him, but I saved his phone number just to say on shows in the future, like this show right here, that I have John Romero's phone number in my phone.
That's insane.
Mikey Newman, who was a part of like Borderlands. Like you know who else we interviewed? You ever see the movie King of Kong?
Yeah.
Billy Mitchell was on our show.
Oh man.
Billy Mitchell was on our show. The referee, what the heck was that guy's name? The guy who owned Twin Galaxy, Walter Day. Walter Day.
Yeah.
He was on. I'm telling you, man, like I could go on and on about the guys that we had on our show. It was fantastic. So because of that, we were credentialed. We were in the field of video games, and when E3 came around, we got our passes. And it wasn't like E3 then was not for public consumption.
Yeah.
It was for the industry. So you could not just walk off the street and go into E3. Like you had to get your badge, you had to get approved. So we went to, I think I went to I can't remember now, 3 or 4 of them. I think it was 3 of them that I went to in a row. And as soon as it was over, the first one, I wanted to go back again. It's just so incredible and awesome, and everything that you want it to be. It's everything that's coming out for the year. You get to see it. And because of the passes that we had, we were press. So we, like Mark, I mean, he was organized. Like when you sign up for E3, you get emails every day from every video game developer you can think of saying like, set up a time to come view our games. And Mark would set it up. We had all 3 days booked, and we would there were people who had passes there that weren't press passes. So I don't know how that worked. Like maybe if you just maybe like wrote for something, I don't know how there's different levels of passes. So there's like people that had passes. Like we had like our time slotted out for when we were going to go to these booths and view all the games. If you were just like the lowest level, I don't know what it is of a pass in there,
the great value pass,
pretty much you would have to run to what you wanted to see for that day, because the line within 10 minutes is 3 hours long.
Oh my God.
So when we go, when we say we have one year we went, BioShock Infinite was coming out.
Ooh.
So we saw BioShock Infinite, and our time was like whatever, I don't know, like 2:00. We didn't have to wait in line. We go there at like 1:55. We're like, hey, we're guys from AVOL. We had a 2:00 appointment. We skip everybody.
Yeah.
So it's like, and you're in these small rooms. Like when they're showing these games, they're these small rooms, and maybe 20 people fit in them. So there's probably 15 people who have time slotted for that time, and then 5 people from that massive line that come in. So whatever you want to see. Like one year it was like, I think it was Battlefield 2 or something came out, or I think it was that, or 4. No, like Battlefield 4 or something like that.
Yeah. That
That was the game that everybody wanted to see. That line was a mile long. We just walked up and watched it. Like Dead Space 2, just walked up and watched it.
I would have ran out of there going, BioShock's in the sky.
Yeah. So one year was Black Ops. It was Call of Duty Black Ops, and we had our appointment with Activision, and they have these booths, and you can just walk up and like kind of play stuff, but behind like the veiled curtain is where it's like a whole nother side of their booth. And we walk into the back area, and we're in like a little bit of a line. It was a short line because they had like 4 small rooms where they were like demoing the game. And standing directly in front of me, I didn't even know he was there. My buddy, I think it was Bill, who like tapped me on the shoulder, and he's like, Steven Spielberg's right in front of you. And I'm like 5'11", and Steven Spielberg's like 5'4". So I had to like look down. I'm like, holy shit. And he had the hat on and he had the glasses on. And I was like, Steven. And he turned around. He was like, hey, how you doing, guys? That was it. And then we went in. They demoed the game for you. And then some of them you can play. And I played a game against Steven Spielberg.
And we can
awesome.
we'll go ahead and say it here. Chris is the reason we got the Animaniacs reboot.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely.
He's like, well, I can't play Black Ops. Guess I can reboot Animaniacs.
I'm looking for, I don't know where it is. So like the swag you get at E3 is off the charts. And the first year we went, Assassin's Creed, I think it was Assassin's Creed 2 was coming out. And as we're walking out, they give us, I have it, I don't know where it is, but they give us this Assassin's Creed encyclopedia.
Whoa.
It's like this hard-covered book. It's awesome. It's awesome. I'm like, this is the coolest thing in the world. We went back to our hotel room. Mark and Bill immediately put it up on eBay to sell it.
What?
And they got like $150 for it. I'm like, I am not selling this thing. And apparently there's like more like volumes out. I should have thought.
Yeah, I was about to say, after Assassin's Creed 2, I bet you that encyclopedia got a lot larger.
Yeah. So I learned after the first year. The second year, I think I went with like 2 or 3 t-shirts coming to E3 because I knew I was going to have 100 of them to come home with.
That's what's up.
It's crazy. It's just, they just handing you stuff left and right. But like, even like, so the actual convention is, for the 3 days. It ends, I think, at 5 or 6 o'clock at night. And then there's like after parties, and you're invited to all the after parties. And Bethesda had a after party in like some like bar, like saloon, where it had like a mechanical bull. Everything is free. You don't pay for a thing, dude. Everything. Open bar, like food all over the place. It's just, it's nuts. It's nuts. And one year we went, the Lakers won, so you got the Staples Center.
Yeah.
Where like the Lakers and the Kings play. Directly next to, it's like attached to the Staples Center is where the convention hall is. So we're passing the Staples Center every morning. One year the Lakers won the championship, and one year the Kings won the Stanley Cup. So we are there when those two teams. So we're in our hotel room, and like the Lakers party was crazy. And we're in our hotel room, and we can hear the helicopter above us, and we're watching on the news the helicopter footage that's down. And like there was this guy who's trying to drive through this crowd in a Lamborghini, and they were like trying to tip him over. It was crazy. It was crazy. But I think the one thing that stands out the most to me is the first year we went, Activision did not have a booth because it cost like $3 to $4 million to have a booth. It's crazy. Of that size. So Activision was like, screw it. We're not having a booth. I'm going to look it up right now. They're like, we're going to throw a concert. And they had a concert at the Staples Center in lieu of a booth. So let me look up who was there, because it was the headliner was Eminem.
Whoa.
And this was, again, all free.
Whoa.
So you have, let me see. I know like NERD was there. Jane's Addiction was there. Like Chris Cornell is my rock god. He was there. A couple guys from Tool were there. I think Foo Fighters were there.
What was
it was nuts
at the time?
It was nuts.
Activision.
Like Maynard James Keenan and his guitarist played Bohemian Rhapsody. Tony Hawk was there and did like some skateboarding thing. It was crazy. My dog's growling now, but whatever. Rihanna was there. I'm looking it up now. Like if you just look up Activision E3 concert, it'll come, and it was like nobody knew it was happening. Everybody was just like, come to the Staples Center, Activision has something to show you. And we're like, okay. And this massive concert broke out. It was just, I mean, E3 will never be what it was because now it is open to the public. And now with, you know, the internet as big as it is now,
yeah,
and streaming as big as it is now, people are just like, we'll save the money and just do a thing on Twitch and we'll get, you know, we'll get it out to the people that way. But man, it was a time. Those are moments that I wish like we could have some sort of like time machine just to go back and experience again, because those were some of the funnest moments of my life.
That had to be absolutely insane.
It was great. It was great. Like you don't know what to. The convention hall is two huge rooms, massive rooms, and there's a walkway in between the two of them. So you go to one of them and you're like, oh my, this is only one room. Like we have a whole other room to go to, and you're overwhelmed. Like you don't know where to go first. And I'll never forget the very first thing we ever played. I don't remember the name of the game, but Rock Band had just come out, and that was kind of like the big thing. Everybody's making these like music games, and there was a game that came out in the realm of Rock Band, but the guitar had actual strings, not guitar strings, but like almost like rubber band strings.
Oh, yeah.
And that was their thing. So we're like, well, we know how to play Rock Band. Let's go play this game, because you don't know what to do. You're like, where do I go? What do I not do? What do I touch? What do I not touch? And it's just like, and then when you get the flow of it, it's just like do whatever the hell you want to do. But
that's crazy.
Fun time. Fun time. I have tons of pictures and stuff. I can post them up, but what's the matter, Pop, huh?
Yeah, when you told me that during the Locked On episode, I was like, whoa, how has this not come up on Fourth Line?
I mean, dude, there's so many people there that are famous. I mean, it's, first of all, you're in Los Angeles, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so I was, I'll say 20 yards away from Olivia Munn filming Attack of the Show.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, her and Kevin Pereira. So
the good old
Sarah Underwood,
yeah,
walked right in front of me, from me to my microphone away. Walked right in front. Yeah, just I mean, you're walking by celebrities left and right, and it's just like they're just out in the open. It's crazy. Good times had by all. So
I've got to meet Jake the Snake Roberts, WWF champion.
Nice.
You know.
Oh yeah. That's a star. That's a star.
I got my WWE encyclopedia autograph, and then he proceeded to hit on the lady behind me, which made it all weird.
Okay, that's a little weird.
It had to be Jake the Snake Roberts. Gave him pickup lines for the rest of his life.
Yeah, right.
Oh.
So like I said, that was a better time. So it's kind of a good segue into what we're going to talk about next, because when I think of like how the world is right now, and I'm like, man, I wish I could just go back to, you know, my high school days. Not that I liked high school, but, or, you know, the E3 days and stuff like that. And you had a good idea of like, you know, when the world is just a cluster F right now, there's kind of like things that we fall back on, and we like watching a specific movie or reading a specific book or doing something to kind of create our own normalcy. So it's kind of, like you said, like we're escaping from the world technically. Yeah. So what do you do? What are your go-to whatevers when the world is just like too much? And you're like, I got to take a step back. I'm going to go do what?
It's easy. It's find the closest television that has a YouTube app, and I will turn on Red Letter Media and Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Really? Like the classic ones?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So you do that through YouTube?
Yeah, they Mystery Science Theater has like their official account, and they put old episodes up there.
Go to you know, Pluto TV.
Mm-hmm.
Pluto TV, free service. Just sign up for it. There is a Mystery Science Theater 3000 channel on it.
Oh,
Runs nonstop. Runs 24
that's
hours.
right up my alley.
Have you watched the new ones, like the new
Yes,
Netflix? They're really good, man.
they are very, very good.
They've done a very good job with the new ones.
Yeah,
I'm very happy with that.
yeah.
Um,
They came before COVID hit. They did their live tour and they came out to Huntsville.
okay.
I
Oh,
didn't
really?
didn't get to attend, but they were in Huntsville doing a live. They did like a tour around the United States
Yep.
where they pick a movie, have an audience, and they riff on it live. So,
Okay.
and Red
That's
Letter
pretty
Media
cool.
is kind of that way where they riff on stuff.
You're right.
You've never checked them out. They're absolutely
I don't know.
fantastic.
I think it sounds familiar, but maybe I don't like seek them out because of the name. Maybe I saw something that just had Red Letter Media attached to it for some reason.
Yeah, they
But
riff on like old movies, like
yeah.
the C-level 80s movies
Oh
that are
my
like
God.
my favorite thing in the
Those
world.
are the best.
Yeah, they riff on those. And then you got to turn on Skyrim. I've probably beat it
Oh,
5, 6, 7 times all the way through, but
yeah.
it is my like just disappear, just turn on Skyrim every time. Or
Yeah.
the old Twisted Metal. I have the PlayStation Now
Oh
service.
my God.
Like Twisted
Very
Metal,
nice.
you get on there, play a couple rounds, and then go right back to Skyrim.
Yeah.
That's how I just escape. And I just kind of I'll have I was actually doing it a little bit this weekend. I had Mystery Science Theater on my laptop playing Skyrim.
See, like that just made me think of like games that you just get lost in. And like way back in the day, I could it was one of those things where I'd be playing Roller Coaster Tycoon
Oh yeah.
until like 3 a.m.
Oh,
Just doing like little like nuanced things, just making sure every little detail was. I don't know why.
I did that
Uh,
with Zoo Tycoon.
oh yeah, dude. Zoo Tycoon was great because you build up this big zoo and then just
Yep, delete
delete the
wall.
fence and then just have the lions run wild. That was always fun. Um,
You'd always like put like the tiniest little patch of grass because they weren't happy. Like they
yeah,
want more savannah land, and you're like, come
yes,
on.
the smallest little bit. I'm gonna let my dog out real quick. So,
All right. Yeah, Zoo Tycoon. Oh my god. I thought I was the only person in the world who got to play those
What's
games.
that?
Zoo Tycoon and Roller Coaster Tycoon. Just
Oh,
like
so fun.
you go in with the best of intentions and you just ruin it at
Oh,
the
it'd be terrible. Yeah, yeah. No, I love those games. For me, like, it's not so much video games anymore. But it'll be like honestly, like, I don't know why they call the station. What is it on? It's not on TBS, but the Impractical Jokers.
True TV
True TV. It should just be Impractical Joker
and
TV.
Practical Jokers channel.
Like that to me, it's just like that's the perfect show right now
Yeah.
because you can't help but laugh, and it's just stupid humor, and just it's not the funniest thing you've ever seen in your life, but it's funny enough to just get you through a half hour
Yeah.
of I don't have to like go onto Facebook or Twitter and see what's wrong with everything right now.
Yeah.
That show to me is just it's always reliable, it's always there, and it'll make you laugh.
Yeah.
It's very simple, it's very laugh worthy. So I love those guys. Movie wise, well, obviously anything like Star Wars, clearly.
Yeah.
Anything Marvel, clearly. But for an actor, like I love Simon Pegg.
Yeah.
So Hot Fuzz is one of my favorite movies. Shaun of the Dead, fantastic. The World's End, fantastic. That trilogy, they call it the Cornetto trilogy. You can't go wrong there. Absolutely love those guys. So, but how you said like you go to Mystery Science Theater a lot. I go to Saturday Night Live a lot.
Really?
I've been a Saturday Night Live fan as long as I can remember. Like my SNL days is me. I have an older brother and then I have an older cousin. So the three of us kind of grew up together, always hanging out. And like Sundays, we would see each other a lot for like Sunday. We have a big Italian family, so we'd see each other a lot for Saturday afternoon lunch or dinner, as they call it. And we would watch Saturday Night Live because we were young. We couldn't really stay up that late. We'd be sleeping by 9 o'clock. So my uncle would always record it, and we'd always watch it. And this was like the early Dana Carvey days,
Oh yeah.
Mike Myers, Chris Farley, like stuff like that. And then I've just always watched it since then, man. And even to this day, I still get a kick out of it on Peacock, on their streaming service. Peacock is free, and there's a lot of value in their free tier. And they have channels. Like I was saying, like Pluto has that Mystery Science Theater channel. They have a Saturday Night Live channel for free. That's always running SNL. And random, just random skits, not a full episode. They'll just run. They have all the skits like in some, like, it's almost like listening to Spotify on random.
Yeah.
They'll just play skits at random. It's great. I let my dog back in now. So hey.
Okay. Yeah. I used to do Saturday Night Live for a while, but kind of fell off of it at the end. Yeah, I used to be heavy into Saturday Night Live. I think I stopped and kind of fell out when Will Forte left.
Oh, he's so good.
Yeah, I was like, he was the one I went out with.
But. Yeah. His skit with Peyton Manning when he's the coach. You can't beat that thing, man. Can't beat it. And his show, his Last Man on Earth.
That was so good.
It's a freaking classic.
Yeah.
An absolute classic. Come here, bud.
And it's one of those that kind of flew under the radar and like nobody really talked about.
Nope.
It was really, really good.
Nope. So, but I think those, like, I think Practical Jokers, because obviously, look, we're picking things that make you laugh.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You have to laugh.
Yeah, so. that's the common thread in all this. Like, something to laugh and just kind of escape. Yeah,
exactly. So, with that, we'll get to our lone hockey topic of the day, where we're going to just pick our Stanley Cup and our Stanley Cup Final. And maybe this might be a little bit biased, but I think for this year it doesn't matter. I think, So why don't you go first and let me know who are the Avalanche playing in the Stanley Cup Final?
Out of the East, I want to see Colorado, Tampa.
Okay.
That's really who I want.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's going to be some team out of the North that just got lucky.
Yeah.
With the way that things happen. It could be Colorado, Toronto.
I wouldn't mind that.
I wouldn't mind that at all. But that's who I got going, because Colorado, I mean, anybody can tell you right now, we're the hottest thing in hockey.
Right.
Just got to finish it up. And who gets that? The other half of the Stanley Cup is Toronto, Tampa, and I guess a Central team. I don't
know. Who's in that Central? Oh, well, Tampa's in the Central, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you got.
So then what's your fun? What are you going with? You're going Colorado and.
I'll go Colorado, Tampa, because that's the one.
Okay.
That's the one I was wanting at the beginning of last year too.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Tampa's going to have it easy until the playoffs, and then all depends on, they reseed. So I think it could be Colorado and Tampa are playing to get into the Stanley Cup. We don't know, but I think whoever can come out of that East is going to be seasoned.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Yeah. So, and I for some reason like Philly. I think it could be. Yeah, I do. I don't know why. I think it could be a Colorado Philly final. I think it could be.
That'd be the Forsberg Cup.
Oh, there you go. You even think about that. Yeah. I think it could be. I think it could be Colorado and Philadelphia in the final. That
would be super entertaining.
Oh yeah. But and then the other ones, like I said, I think Tampa is gonna have it relatively easy. I think that Canadian division is going to be highly entertaining.
Yeah.
I think, like we said before, Tampa or Toronto should come out of that, but it would not surprise me if, they lose in that playoff round.
Yeah.
To someone like Montreal even. Could happen.
Ottawa's got Matt Murray, and they're sneaky good.
Yeah. So, but we're both going with Avalanche to win it. Obviously, I have them going against Philly. You have them going against Tampa.
All
right. We shall see. What does our
The big
NHL
computer,
21? Yes, go to the big board.
big computer almost agreed with what I said.
Yeah.
Out of the East, you have Tampa Bay.
Okay.
Out of the West, Arizona.
Oh God.
I don't understand
Come
why this
on.
game loves Arizona.
Oh my God.
Arizona actually knocked Colorado out of the conference finals to advance to the
Bogus.
Stanley Cup.
Bogus.
And Arizona followed that up by winning the Stanley Cup against Tampa Bay.
No way. Wow. Maybe some big move happens or something
I don't.
at the trade deadline, but
So Arizona gets rid of Taylor Hall and wins the cup. That's how this happens.
Just how Taylor Hall drew it up because he doesn't care about cups, clearly.
I mean, Arizona didn't even have a draft pick for like the first 3 rounds.
No. And then they had to give the one that they did draft back.
Yeah, they had to give him away real quick.
Wow. All right. Well, we'll check back on that one at the end of the year. So
EA Sports is trying to tell us something about Arizona.
Yes,
we need to do some research.
They are. So, all right, man. Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to sleep now after that one. But
ridiculous.
That'll be it. So if you want to follow me, LOPN_avalanche on Twitter and on Instagram. Kyle Sullivan.
I'm Shaggy Von Doom on Instagram and Twitter. The show on Twitter is 4th Minutes. The show on Instagram is 4th Line Minutes. Follow us, like us, subscribe to the YouTube channel. The Legend of Taro Tsujimoto episode 1 is up. So
you cannot wait to do that again.
You have to subscribe for that alone. That has been a wild ride. It's so much fantastic. Fun. So you gotta. Those will be coming out sometime this week as well.
Gonna be great.
And all the way up, all previous episodes are now available anywhere you get your podcast. So if you need an audio version just to catch up on what we talk about, it's available everywhere. And this episode will be as well. So look up the show anywhere you get your podcast. It's greatly appreciated.
All right. That'll be it. And my dog Charlie's here too. So
Charlie.
Yeah, he wants something. So we're gonna wrap this bad boy up so I can go take care of him. So we will see you guys next week. Thank you for joining. It's been a blast.
Bye.
All right.